Welcome to the Sonic Boomers podcast. I'm Pete Torriello.
And I'm Maureen Torriello.
And on the last edition of the Sonic Boomers, we took you down a little trip along memory lane, talking about the features that were in our homes growing up that you just don't see in homes anymore. We are wearing the same clothes that we wore in the last show because we're doing a twofer in the recording session. Sorry for the fashion faux pas. We're going to be talking about the things that used to come to your home, the people that used to come to your home and bring you things, bring you services long before Jeff Bezos, long before Amazon, can I get it delivered tomorrow,
right,
free shipping.
DoorDash and all that stuff, yeah.
And there was quite a bit.
There was, as we started reminiscing, I was like, oh, another one. Oh, and how about this? Yeah.
And one thing that I think almost everybody had, I know you did,
Yeah.
I did growing up, milk delivery.
Because it was a convenience to be able to have it come right to your door. You never had to worry about running out of milk.
We had Borden's Dairy.
And I think ours was Becker's, and then it changed to Alderney, and then I think Tuscan. It changed hands several times, but Becker's was the original one. Becker's Farm was just up in Roseland.
Right.
And you could go up
At Becker's Farm Road.
and you could go and tour it. And I remember, I think I was in kindergarten. It was a class trip. We went up to Becker's Farm, and you got to pet the cows, and there was like a little train ride that you went around, and you saw how the milk was packaged and all. It was interesting.
So
right?
you could fit, I don't know, maybe a half dozen bottles. That wasn't a terribly big box.
No, I don't think it was even a half dozen.
Yeah.
I think we would get like maybe 2 at a time or
And
something.
you'd leave a note for the milkman whether you needed cream or milk or chocolate milk maybe.
Yeah.
Or we're going on vacation. And imagine back in the day you would actually leave a note for your milkman saying, I'm going to be on vacation.
Yeah.
See you in a week or two. Like, don't bring any milk.
Yeah.
Wow. You'd never do that today. We also used to have bread delivery.
People, we ourselves, I don't think did it too often, but I remember the bread truck coming around and, dropping off deliveries to different people.
We had a guy that used to deliver bread, and I think it was just bread, Fisher bread. And he used to come to our house, but I don't think that he was delivering bread to our house. Because my mom had a store in her, my mom used to sell clothing, and it was an illegal operation. She did not have a license. She did it on the side to make some extra money. And there was a company called Lanner Brothers. They were based in New York, I think maybe Brooklyn. And my mother would always say, Harry Lanner is going to call me, Peter, and make sure I get this call. So if you answer the phone, tell him hold on. And that was the guy that my mom would order the clothing from. And this big box truck would show up every few months and bring stuff into my mom. And then my mom had this Fisher bread guy selling clothes out of his truck from my mom. So she had this little underground operation going, and all was well until one of the neighbors ratted her out to the IRS.
Oh, geez.
And my poor mom and dad got audited for 7 years on the look back.
Wow.
And we know who did it. We know who did it. And I'm not going to mention any names, but we know who did it. How about cake and pie delivery?
Yeah, I think that all went with the bread. I remember like Dugan would come around.
We had Dugans.
And they had, dessert things too as
Do
well.
you remember those little fruit pies
Yeah.
in the tins? And there would be like maybe 6 in a box.
Oh, I don't remember getting 6 in a box. I remember just individual
Oh,
ones.
yeah, these were little. They were like
Yeah, I remember they were little, but I remember only getting one
they
at
were
a
so
time.
good. And that guy would come to our, and he wasn't part of my mom's network. He just came and delivered the dessert and the pies to us and took off. Now, how about a vegetable peddler?
My grandmother had that.
Didn't have it. We didn't have it.
Fruit and vegetables. Louis the peddler. He came around, he had an old school bus, and he had all his produce on the school bus. And he would come in, and he would sit down at the kitchen table with my grandmother, and they would discuss what things she was going to get that day, what fruit, what vegetables, how much of each she wanted. And he'd be advising her, oh, Mrs. O'Connor, I got some good apples for you today. No, Louis, I don't need any apples. I'll give you some apples, And
that's they would give you some.
Yeah.
They would give you. Today, you don't get
nothing
for free. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch today. But yeah, back in the day, they'd throw you a little something.
And so he would come, it was a little pad of paper, he'd write everything down. Be right back, Mrs. O'Connor. And he'd run out to the bus, go into the bus, and he had the bushel baskets, which you don't see anymore, made out of like, I don't know, like a soft wood, like balsa wood or something.
Yeah. I remember those baskets.
And it would be, he'd have all the products in paper bags, and he'd put them into a bushel basket and bring them back into the house. You didn't have to go outside. You didn't have to carry anything heavy. He would do it all. And he'd come, I think, maybe once a week. And the fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, couldn't beat it.
I know my folks used to go to a farm here in Old Bridge. They would get the fresh eggs, and there was a place 5 minutes from where we're living now that my mom would go and get her tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, and she would use them. She would like grind them up and make tomato sauce, tomato paste out of them and can them. And she would get pears, and she would can the pears. And I also remember, and if you grew up in New Jersey, and I don't know if this company was nationwide, but if you grew up in New Jersey, you probably remember Charles Chips, the potato chips.
Yeah, I can picture the tins that they came in, like, and the bags, like it was like a beige color background with brown writing.
Brown
on
lettering,
it.
and I think it had stars on it or something, or
I
some.
don't know. I thought they were chocolate chips,
Were they?
but I don't know.
Yeah, they were potato chips.
Yeah, but
Charles
but
Chips.
I think that they were like dots,
Because I was an overweight kid, and I used to say to my parents, why can't we get Charles Chips? And my father would say something like, "Aren't you fat enough? What do you want potato chips for? Aren't you fat enough?" And other encouraging things that Dad said to me in my life. So yeah, Charles Chips. Of course, the ice cream
sure.
trucks, which we still have here in our development.
Yeah, and
Mr. Softy.
And the thing is, the ice cream trucks in my neighborhood were in competition with each other. There were two main ones: the Good Humor Man and Mr. Softy. And Mr. Softy tried to win us kids over by giving us little toys, junk. I mean, like like a whistle or something, or a plastic ring.
And that was Mr. Softy.
And that was Mr. Softy.
Did the Good Humor Man try to get him whacked?
No, but then Jack, the Good Humor Man, he would come around and he would like admonish us for not waiting for him, and he had a set route, and you could count on him every day. You knew just about what time he would be there. And sometimes we as kids, we wanted the ice cream sooner, so we'd walk a block down to get the stop before ours. And he'd say, nope, go back to your house. I'll be there in a minute. Like, he kind of kept the neighborhood under control.
Can you imagine, like, the Good Humor guy being like, "Listen, Softy, you better stay the hell off my route. Stay out of my neighborhood, because somebody's going to find you with a popsicle jammed up somewhere where a popsicle shouldn't be. So quit coming around my neighborhood." And do you remember the little change belts?
Yes, with the dimes, nickels, quarters.
Yeah,
and
you'd pay for, and they'd make the.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, in the development that I grew up in, we did not have Good Humor to the best of my recollection. Now, I'm talking about the 60s.
Yeah.
We had Carnival.
Okay.
Once in a while, I think once in a while, maybe Mr. Softy. But I remember the carnival guy used to come with the ice cream. And of course, you'd hear the ding, 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 ding. And everybody would run into the house and, hey,
Right.
Mom, can I get ice cream? And
Yeah.
you'd hit your mom up for $1 to go out and get your ice cream. How about the mosquito truck?
No, nothing about that.
Because
at
Madison
all.
Park was, when it was built in the 50s, it was all woods around here. It was all woods.
Yeah.
And we had mosquitoes like crazy. And they used to have this truck that would come and it would go up and down the streets and it would spray these big clouds
Oh, God,
of
no.
DDT. And the kids, and I was smart enough to know that this was poison,
Yeah.
but kids that I grew up with, they'd be on their bikes behind the DDT truck, riding in the cloud.
Oh gosh.
And that was like a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
And nobody driving the truck ever said, hey, that's poison. What do you get the hell out of there?
Yeah.
They just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many of these people are still around. How many of them got lung cancer? Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember the mosquito truck
Yeah,
would
no.
come around several times during the summer. In-home TV radio repair.
Well, because of the fact that TVs and radios were console things,
Yeah.
there were no well, radios were smaller eventually.
Yeah.
But the TVs, there's no way you were gonna,
Big piece of furniture.
you weren't going to be able to put that in your car and take it off to a TV repair shop. So the guy would come into your home.
We had a big black and white Motorola.
There you go with the
It
brand
was a
names.
Motorola. And it was a blonde cabinet. Really ornate. And the guy who lived in back of us was, his sideline was TV repair. And so anytime the TV would act up, Mom would call Sal.
Okay.
And he would come over and he would teach me about how the tubes worked and how the picture tube worked and everything. And the worst possible thing that could happen was if the picture tube went.
Right.
Because that was like $50,
Yeah, you might as well get a new TV.
you know, for the picture. And we replaced it once. And I remember Sal coming over and putting in this RCA picture tube. And like a year or two later, it failed again. And my mom was like, that's it. Get this out of here. Get that. And they got this TV. It was an Emerson. Again, don't ask me why I have such memories of this. It was an Emerson, and it was a piece of crap. It was nowhere near as good as the Motorola. And I'm a young kid, and I'm saying to my parents, Emerson, what did you get this for? This is crap. What do you...
Once again, Pete's spouting his opinions.
So, doctors who made house calls.
Now we were fortunate when we first got married.
Yes.
Dr. Ambrosio from here in the park
God rest him.
still would make house calls.
Yes.
Not all the time, but if needed. And I remember we came down with the flu,
Oh, my God.
and we thought we had pneumonia.
Two
We
of us were-
couldn't
we
breathe,
couldn't breathe. Our chests hurt.
and you called up, and he actually came and visited us in the apartment.
He used to drive around in a Volkswagen Bug,
Okay, that I don't remember.
which he liked because it was so reliable
Mm-hmm.
and it was good in snow.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ambrosio would come. And if you went to his office for a visit,
Yeah.
I remember they had a sign in the office that there could be a 2 to 3 hour wait to see him because he was either at the hospital or doing
Out
house
vacation.
calls.
Yeah.
And everybody went to Dr. Ambrosio.
Yeah.
And then later we had another doctor who opened up shop across the street. This Dr. DiGirolamo, I think his name was. But for years, like Dr. Ambrosio had all of Madison Park.
Sure.
And and his son is a doctor. He's an ear doctor. I
Okay.
just saw him a couple of years ago. The Iceman. Now, this isn't something that you and I grew up with.
We didn't
Right.
grow up with it in terms of the Iceman originally would deliver ice because you didn't have a regular refrigerator. You had what they called an ice box.
Ice box.
And it cooled by having this giant piece of ice inside the box, and that's what cooled. And of course, it would melt, and you need to get another cube of ice. But I do remember icemen coming around, and especially if we were going to go have a barbecue or we were going to go on a picnic or something, I can remember getting the big chunk of ice and putting that like in a cooler chest and taking it, to the barbecue or taking it to the picnic. And in that respect, that part of the Iceman I remember.
How about coal delivery? Again, this would predate you and me.
Right. Well, like I said in our last episode, my grandmother still had coal when I was very young, and I do remember that.
Fish peddler?
No memory of that at all.
Never had it, but my folks used to talk about the fish peddlers.
Yeah.
Now, to set the stage, my folks were born, my dad was born in 1905, my mom was born in 1912, so that kind of sets the stage of
They're a lot older,
the era that they grew up in. And they used to talk about the Iceman and the fish peddler.
Right.
How about a knife sharpener?
I can vaguely remember, but not on a regular basis. I can remember sometimes, again, my grandmother's neighborhood must have been like a harbor for all of these.
Now, she was in East Orange?
Orange.
Orange.
And I do remember on occasion, maybe once or twice a year, a knife sharpener guy would come down the street, and if you had something to be sharpened, you could bring it out to them. And he had like this wheel that spun, and I guess it had like a rough edge,
like a
on
flint
it,
or something.
Yeah, and they would put scissors, knives, and stuff on that and sharpen them for you.
I don't remember a knife sharpener in my neighborhood growing up in the 60s. If you grew up in an Italian neighborhood, chances are you had a bleach man.
Yep.
Who was referred to as Biangoline. Biangoline.
Was that was the brand name of the bleach?
No, it means white.
Oh, okay.
Biangoline. I think it meant white clothes. Bian, I think, is white.
Okay.
So it was Biangoline.
Okay.
And they would bring you these big gallon jugs of bleach.
Yeah, I remember my next door neighbor growing up would get that. We always just got Clorox from the supermarket, but they would get the bleach bottles.
You'd use it in the laundry to make your clothes white. You'd use it around the house for cleaning or disinfectant.
Yeah.
Laundry service.
Yeah. My aunt,
Your aunt.
ran a laundry.
Right.
Now, she didn't do it as a service. Like, she didn't go door to door or anything. People would bring their laundry into her establishment and to have this stuff done. Much like you would with a dry cleaner, you'd bring your laundry in there. But I do know that there were laundry people. My grandmother used to use it occasionally for my Uncle Bud. He went to work in business shirts, and she would send his shirts out to the laundry to have them come back, because they would starch them and iron them and make them nice, and they would come and get delivered. That was Bond Laundry. No.
Yeah, I remember.
Or Lily White. I'm sorry, Lily White.
The laundry trucks, I remember, and sometimes they would come to your home. If you didn't have a washing machine or a laundromat, you'd have a laundry person come and pick up your clothes and take care of them for you. And of course, diaper service.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we had our first son, Sean,
Yes.
my mother gifted us with like a month of diaper service. She really, she thought she was doing a good thing, and it was.
Yeah.
But disposable diapers were so much better.
Yes.
And as soon as the diaper service ran out, I was like, I don't want it anymore, because when they would have the cloth diapers, although it's more environmentally sound, when they would they'd wet through everything. And even with rubber pants over them and everything, the diapers were not that absorbent. And so if the baby was in the crib and wet, it would wet through the diaper, it would wet through the outfit, it would wet through the sheets, it would wet through the receiving blankets. So you'd have all this laundry to do. And the only thing that the diaper service did was take the diapers. and they would smell. You had
Yes.
a diaper pail, and it had like a deodorant thing, like a
That's right.
I don't know, it's like a
It would
camphor
screw
or
into
something.
the
Like
bottom
like
of the
a
lid.
like a camphor
Yeah.
cube or something. And it was gross, and I was just as glad to get rid of it. I'm sorry, Mom. But for her, in her day, there were no disposables. You had diapers, and you had to wash them yourselves and do it. So she thought she was giving us a quite convenience, and in a way she was.
Yeah. So these are just some of the services that used to come into the home.
Yes.
And if you remember any that we forgot here, or if you had some of these services yourself and care to reminisce a little bit, make sure that if you're watching us on YouTube, that you put it in the comments below, because we always enjoy hearing feedback from our viewers and our listeners. And of course, if you really want to do us a big favor, give us a like and give us a subscribe, because that really helps the algorithm and we get the show pushed out to more viewers. And by the way, before you go away, check the show that we did last, because that's a good one about the things that used to be in your home that ain't there anymore. We'll see you next time.